You're now listening to the JCA Sports Podcast on Spotify and Anchor.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the JCA Sports Podcast. As I'm trying to get comfortable in my new spot location, I forgot to get all my stuff ready for my podcast since I had a fantasy football draft at my house on Friday, thanks to Jonathan Palayo, who shortly should be joining us, and all, as well as Jose Contreras. So I am currently using my girl's desk for work since she works from home. So that's what I'm doing right now. That's where I'm at. This is the location. This is where I'm gonna be at for today. So as I get a little comfortable here and see where I'm at, what's my spot? Hey, hi everybody, how we doing? Welcome to another episode of the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch under the John Quinavi Facebook page and also the Star 6 Media platform. Guys, make sure you like and follow our social media platforms, not only on Facebook, but also on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and MySpace, all the great social media apps. Like I said, the boys will be joining us soon. I will also drop the link as I'm doing that right now as we speak. I am dropping John got your Cubbies playoff beard growing. Actually, I don't. This is just me missing a haircut appointment from our barber, Don Mexico. I like to call him Luis Aguilar. Yeah, that's the only reason why my beard looks the way it does. Yeah, it's just definitely missed out on a haircut. That's all. So yes, it looks all scruffy and looks all over the place. And this is why I'm also wearing the hat, because y'all don't want to see what's under here. And so I'm just saving you guys a and I'm my boy Deontay, keep the beard, bro. You know what? I would if a certain somebody wasn't getting married. By that certain somebody, I mean my brother. At the end of no, in the middle of the month coming up, John said, "Shave it." What he said, "Shave it and grow it out all bear season." You know what? Again, I this is where me missing the opportunity of getting a haircut comes into play, because that was my original plan to like literally trim it to shave it all the way down and then regrow it right before my brother's wedding, simply because I could just look, marvelous, for that day. But obviously I can't over compete, with the bride and groom, but I'll definitely be a strong third, maybe even fourth, probably even fifth, with my girl being there and also my baby. So yeah, I mean, maybe I should have just shaved it all off. When I think about it, but this is definitely, yes, it's a lot. It's a lot. I don't like it. Look at it. Speaking of the beautiful girlfriend, she said, "Do not shave it." Um, I mean, hey, look, it's been in the works. I've been wanting to for a while. I need to retouch, the whole thing, Hey, but who knew this is gonna be who knew we're gonna start about talking my beard, for the first 3, 4, 5 minutes of the show. So it's good, whatever. But what do you guys think? You think I should take it all off after the wedding? Shave it all off, babyface Eric. If you find somewhere deep down in the archives of my Facebook page, you could definitely see a babyface Eric that hasn't been seen in about 7 years or so. That's there it is. Deontay, welcome to the club. Hell yeah, bro. Hell, I got to do where I got to go. Hope you're doing good, Uncle Day. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Hope you're doing great. Miss you, bro. Hope everything's working out for you. You are the man. I see you working out in the gym, getting a little cut, getting a little swole. I need to join the Uncle Day workout plan. You know what I mean? I need to drop a few lbs, at least a few of them before the wedding that I participated myself to be in a couple weeks. You know, so that's that. Again, I should put a poll out there. Should I not, or should I not shave the beard? What do you guys think? So far I got 2 for shave, 1 for shave, 2 for not shaving. So we'll see how I go. He said, yeah, knee surgery 2 weeks ago. So I dropped some weight. Ooh. Well, I wish you a speedy recovery, Uncle Day. And hopefully it wasn't really too serious, because man, you and a bunch of NFL players and a bunch of soccer players too in Europe as well are going through the same thing with some knee problems as well, getting some surgery on that. So hopefully it's not too serious. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully everything is good on your end, my brother. Miss you, and hopefully everything is well. But let's get on to our show, guys. Got a lot to talk to you about. Especially we're going to talk about the team that I'm wrapping on my head right now, the Chicago Cubs and their playoff push, winning an important series, 2 out of 3 against the Milwaukee Brewers today, finishing up that series. We also talk about our NFL predictions throughout the whole entire NFL, with the teams who's winning the division, who's making the playoffs, so on and so forth there too as well. And then, does winning a championship in the United States, does that consider being the champion of the world? When I see everybody's decision on that one too as well. Like I said, the link is on the comment section. If you guys want to hop on at any point of the show, give us your take, or like John and Uncle Day and even my beautiful girl Lotta over here, saying that hopping on the comments, we will read the comments too as well. So we got a lot into. Let's keep it going. Let's start with the Cubs. That's just more recent. They won 3 out of 2 against the Brewers. The Brewers team that came in winning 8 in a row, 9 after taking the first game of the series. And a lot of hype going around with our Chicago Cubs, or my Chicago Cubs, should I say, making it into the playoffs, only 3 behind first place Brewers in the NL Central, having a good, healthy game and a half lead on the Giants coming up. And look who's decided to show up. What's up, Jose? Decided to show up on the wild card, 1 half lead in the second wild card spot. Opportunistic team. We got a great pitching performance from Justin Steele yesterday, and another one from Kyle Hendricks today. Jose, we're talking about our beloved Chicago Cubs, man. How confident do you feel about our Cubbies making this playoff push?
Oh man, I'm confident, Eric. I'm pretty confident. And the reason why I'm confident is because they've been playing consistent baseball, good baseball, at least on the offensive side, since.
Oh, I don't know if that's me or you that ended up freezing. But he said he's feeling confident. He's feeling really confident about the Chicago Cubs and the playoff push. And I think everybody should at this point, right? We're down to the last month. We are down to the meat and potatoes of what they call the playoff push of the season, especially if your team's in it. We've been fortunate enough to have a very opportunistic team, a very important team, or not important, but a very opportunistic team offensively to get there, right? To be in the position where we're at right now. Josh goes, apparently the Cubs make them sick. But I mean, I mean, haters are gonna hate, right? We're gonna have some haters on this side of the lot as well. I mean, they're whatever the case may be, but opportunistic offense, pitching to me, I've always said has been suspect. I made a bold prediction that by the end of the month or by the 1st of September, the Cubs are going to be first place. Well, that's not more than likely not going to happen. But what I like to say, or what I like to see, is that these Cubs have in these past 2 games have really shown that they can actually battle out and grind out a series where pitching can take over a game if the offense is working. And obviously in the postseason, that's mainly more what's going to happen. You're going to see pitching is going to outclass hitting. And the last 2 games, especially a team like the Brewers, who are not only your NL Central rivals, but also your first place team in this division too, as well as Jose slowly but surely is joining us back onto the show. This is an opportunity for them to feel great about supporting and winning and coming back. I'm gonna take Jose off real quick as his picture comes into frame a little bit more. But an opportunity for them to know that they could handle a a 1-0 win or a 3-2 win, a very hard grind win like it was today, and like how it was yesterday too as well. So it's good to see, even though they still have those pitching woes, I still believe they have pitching woes. The bullpen, although they came out clutch the last 2 days, they had to grind off. Alzolay, hitting the batter as he's been our closer, and he got the save again today. Leiter just walking the bases loaded or having the bases loaded. Leiter, Alzolay hitting to bring in the tying run today at 2-2. But again, the Cubs grinded, the Cubs got there, and that's what we needed to see. Deontay up here says, us Sox fans don't want to talk about baseball at all. And it's been unfortunate, man, and it's been a week for Sox fans, that's for sure. And are you good? Are you finally good, bro? You all right?
Yeah, I had to switch over to my phone, man, because the laptop ain't doing it for me right now.
Hey, so much for that update that you showed me a little earlier then, huh?
Dude, for real, I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyways, what's going on, everybody?
Never mind. Yeah,
I'm back. Technology. It works when it wants to, and when you need it to, it don't.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right on that point. And slowly but surely, it's taking over our lives. But nobody wants to go down that rabbit hole, though.
But
Not yet,
as
right?
I was saying, I'm confident in this team because they're consistently showing how good they can be offensively, even against teams that are playoff bound, like the ones we beat today and yesterday in the Milwaukee Brewers. We've also already beaten the Braves. We've beaten, you name them. There's a lot of teams in this stretch since the All-Star break. I hate to bring up the White Sox, but remember when the White Sox when they had this championship window, it was like a year or two ago. We thought they were good, but they just couldn't beat the teams that were above 500, the teams that they would see in the playoffs.
They had a window?
I feel like the Cubs are the complete opposite. They're beating the teams that they could beat and that they may see in the playoffs, whether it's in the wild card or in the actual postseason. Regardless of the fact, it's good to see consistent baseball. It was a great idea not to sell, but to buy. I mean, that Candelario trade, man, it's been
that did wonders for the Cubs.
Yeah,
and it was a position that the Cubs were hurting at too, third base.
Yep.
They didn't give up a lot for him. They got him pretty good at a pretty good deal. They didn't really give up those top prospects that we thought that they were going to get rid of.
And he's producing.
And he's producing. That's a prime example of how a good team gets better by doing a good deal in Candelario joining the Cubs. And now not only we're talking about the Chicago Cubs too as well, but also the report that came out yesterday that the Los Angeles Angels, bro, they basically wiped out, or they waived probably like a quarter, probably a fifth of their team,
Crazy.
Including two players that we know well here in Chicago, and Lucas Giolito and Reynaldo Lopez. Any chance or a possibility that the Cubs could get one of those two? And if they do, who would you rather have, Jose? Would you rather have Lucas in the starting rotation or get help in that bullpen with Reynaldo Lopez?
Well, it all depends on what happens with Marcus Stroman. If Marcus Stroman, if you think he could be back by playoff time, but even then give you, just a little bit of what he's been doing most of the season, then I say get Reynaldo Lopez, help out that bullpen. But if he can, you need a starter. I mean, Lucas Giolito's right there. He was playing pretty solid baseball for the White Sox not that long ago. But going back to the Angels, man, I'm sorry, but how are you that GM, Eric? How are you that front office and you still have a job next year? You traded away how many prospects for these guys for half these guys you just put on waivers? And I get it, Shohei Ohtani's injury, basically screwed you. But come on, man, that's wild.
It was even more than that, to be honest with you, Jose.
It was just free. It was just you just gave away so many prospects for free.
For sure. No, for sure. You're absolutely right. I think they gave up their top prospect or their top catching prospect. It was somebody from right there from the top of the list that they gave up for both, like you said, Lucas Giolito, and Reynaldo Lopez. Wow, I'm burping over here. Uncle Dede says Lopez for sure. Lucas has been struggling the last 2 seasons. And I think that's it, right? I think with Lucas Giolito, we either get like top-notch pitching Lucas Giolito, or we get the Lucas Giolito that we've been seeing the last couple of weeks once he got traded to the Angels, right? There's like no middle ground, right? We either get the highest of the highs or the lowest of the lows. And you're right. I think it depends on the situation too, as well, where you either pick, Reynaldo Lopez, knowing that you need help in that bullpen, whether if it's in the long relief or the middle relief, and then you put everybody in line on who has to come up or put him up as a setup man. Um, I know the Cub has room. I don't know how much room they have, but I know they have room for one. If somehow, some way they get two, I know they're high up in the waiver wire list, but I know they're not like super high. They're high enough to where, even if it's not Lucas, if it's not Reynaldo Lopez, it could be more who they give up, and see what else they can get from one of those. At least one of the three of the pitchers that the Los Angeles Angels gave up can fall to the Chicago Cubs and help this team in the long run, especially now that they're making this playoff push, Jose, that has you excited and has me. I mean, I'm excited too, but I'm a little bit on the worried side. I'm a little bit on the skeptical side. I'm very optimistic, but I'm kind of like holding back a little bit because I have seen the Cubs and I've been watching a lot more Cubs games recently in the last couple of weeks, knowing that they're making this playoff push. Besides, it's the time of year that I watch a lot of baseball anyways, whether if they're good or bad, simply because, I mean, it's what's only on TV. But I've seen the Cubs bullpen struggle. I've seen the Cubs starting rotation struggle. I mean, hell, if you somehow get both, that would be great, amazing, but it'll put you over the luxury tax. But I think for a season like this year, where anything could happen, I know you didn't expect the Cubs to be in this position. I sort of kind of didn't. I had a little bit of high hopes, but I kind of felt like if there's someone in contention a few games behind, I said a few games behind, not be in the postseason, I think will be a successful season. But I know you and I really didn't have the Cubs being this high up. So at this point, it's what you got, I guess, what we like to call house money, I guess you could say. And if we get one out of the three or two out of the three for sure and get the luxury tax, I think it'll be great for the Chicago Cubs. Deontay says starting pitcher goes to Mike Clevenger, which is another
Another one.
person too as
That's
well,
another one, yeah.
who's out there too as well. So I mean, Jose, it's exciting for the north side town, north side part of the town of the Chicago Cubs for our baseball team, right? It's fun, it's exciting, we're happy, we're seeing the excitement for us Cubs fans that we could say we're finally back and we're finally like ahead of schedule with this team, knowing that we could get better next year with the additions that we could bring in the offseason. With that being said, like you mentioned a little earlier, with Shohei Ohtani, is he really worth the money to bring him in? With the injury that we seen that he had.
I think so. I mean, I still think he's a great regardless. I mean, you just got to give him time to heal up. I mean, you've seen pitchers come back from injuries like that and still play well. It's not. I don't want to say it's. I didn't expect something like this. I mean, you can only do so much as a player. I mean, there's reasons why, pitchers always don't hit as well or vice versa. Because you're putting a lot of strain on your body. You know what I mean? This guy's able to. He's gifted enough to do two great things. Hitting a baseball is one of the hardest things to do, and then throwing a baseball the way he does is also so hard. But he's able to do it. But you're putting so much strain on your body throughout a season that a lot of us already think may be too long. And that's the only thing. If an injury like this can continue to pile up because he's doing both. Maybe not. Maybe you look at someone like Shohei Ohtani and you're kind of like, okay, maybe he's not a good option. But if you could just bring him in as a pitcher or just bring him in as a hitter and he's shown to be successful, I mean, do it. If it's gonna help one way or another, why not? And maybe I think what Shohei should do, and if you're the Cubs, maybe you think about this. You bring him in, just have him focus on hitting. Maybe you start here and there, but you focus the pitching during playoff time. You know what I mean? Something like that. You know what I mean? Like you'll give him some pitches so that way he gets some reps in or whatever. But it's not every 5 days or however long, these teams tend to go. But you know what I mean? Like if you limit those starts and then you ramp it up during playoff time, I say why not?
Yeah, I mean it's the price, right? It's saying $500 million for a guy who does two things, pitching and hitting, right?
Yep.
And now that he has this injury, this UCL injury that he may or may not require Tommy John surgery, are you still willing to give him that amount of money, that $500 million for the amount of years that they're probably looking for? which is 10 years. Like, is it worth him knowing that he's going to be 30 next season?
Oh, yeah, you're right. The age is something. Production only gets lower and lower with age. Getting higher and higher. So maybe not 10 years, man. I'll give him a good 5, but I don't know about 10. But if he's looking for 10, then yeah, you just let him seek it somewhere else, and
Let him seek it somewhere else.
you
Yeah.
know,
No, 100%. And obviously it does. The injury does hurt his free agency a little bit, right? Because
yeah,
you were going to get a pitcher with 2. Right? I mean, obviously,
2 for
you
1.
get a 2-for-1 special,
Yeah.
right? You get 250 million for a hitter, and then you get the other 250 million for the pitcher, right? And he equals 1. So I mean, it hurts. It hurts, and I know there's going to be teams willing to gamble on that, right? I mean, the Cubs names are on the list, right? It's along with the Yankees, along with the Dodgers, along with the Angels, which I don't think the Angels are going to be back in it. The San Diego Padres, teams like that. I know he wants to stay out west. Even like the teams like the Seattle Mariners are another team too as well. So I mean, hey, for right now, it looks like buyers beware, but also at the same time, it's a bargain deal too as well, because you can get him for, like you said, $4 or $5 million or 4 or 5 year deal, and you can get him as a hitter for 1, and then the next 3 you can get him as a pitcher. But you're right, you're also right what you said. Production will falter the later you go down the line and the later you go down the year. So exciting times, but also, we got to see. It's a wait and see. The month of September is right around the corner. The Cubs just won an important series against the Milwaukee Brewers, winning 2 out of 3. Beating the Brewers today 3-2 at home. Now they have another important series coming up this weekend. They get the day off tomorrow, and then they got the Cincinnati Reds at Cincinnati. So another important series for the Cubs as another team that's behind them in the wild card race too as well.
All right, real quick, I'm gonna try to get on my laptop again because now my phone's gonna die. So I'll be right back. But let me not end this stream like I've done before. So let me.
And you can only get this in the JCA Sports Podcast, guys, on the John Konabi Facebook page, on the Star 6 Media Facebook Productions, or Star 6 Media Productions on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and also on Instagram and on our social media platforms as we were talking about the Chicago Cubs, guys. You could join us on here too as well. Man, this man don't charge nothing. Nope. It's the same guy every week. Nothing will change with this guy. And now he's back with the camera angle.
Well, yeah, because I'm just saying, I'm at home, and you would think I charge myself. I never charge. If anybody who knows me, really, really knows me, they know I don't charge my phone at all.
Man, this guy.
Whenever I send screenshots to these guys, they always see my phone's like on 1%. Every
something
single
like
time.
that, 5-6%. Like, bro,
my girlfriend knows.
Bro,
she hates that about me. I never charge it.
We got to get you in order, bro. We got to get you in order. I remember one time me and this guy went out late, and this guy was on like 10%. I'm like, hey, bro, do you got a car charger? I'm like, bro,
it is what it is, bro. I never charge my phone. Not even at night when I'm asleep. I don't even know where my phone is sometimes.
This guy's something else. Yeah, we do got to get this guy in order real quick. Hey, Jose, we started off the episode, man, on my beard. Should I or should I not shave it off?
I think you should trim it.
I was.
Look, here's the thing. Nobody knows Beardless Eric like I know Beardless Eric, okay? I've met Eric back in 2012. We've known each other over 10 years. I consider this man a brother, not even a friend. I consider him a brother now, okay? I met this man when he had no beard, when he had spiky hair. That Eric was different. That's something that's an Eric I hope to never meet again. So
that Eric was a menace, bro.
That Eric was something else. Woo. Let me tell you, he was something else. But that was my guy, Eric. But I hope to never meet that man again. As much as I love him, he got to stay dead. You know what I mean? So don't shave it.
I mean, hey,
the world ain't ready for that, Eric, right now.
Not again, at least, right?
No more. No, that is over with.
John says you got too many kids to be letting your phone die, bro. And look at that. He said nobody wants to know Beardless Eric.
Trust me.
Yeah, that guy was a menace, bro. Now this is what, like I said, this is what happens when you miss a haircut, bro. Like it's not trimmed. It's not the same. You know what Uncle Day says, Eric, you can't ask a guy without a beard to keep him.
Bro, look, I would say this is the most I've grown, but I've grown more than this. I just tend to shave it off.
Man, you should see his son, bro. He's the man of the house. The dude got more beard than his own father, and he's
No,
only like
he
12.
don't got a beard, but he's got a thicker mustache.
He got a mustache. He got a stash.
Yeah,
He does got a stash.
he's only 13.
He's more than his father, bro.
Yeah.
I want to get into something real quick before we get into our NFL topic, Jose. And I think this is probably by far the best way to end the week for a team who had a very tough week last week in the Chicago White Sox, and that's this right here.
Football game. Bro, and it's funny because like the White Sox were so sure before the investigation hit, like they were that there was no way there was a gun, and they were saying it was from a nearby house neighborhood outside the stadium, and that. But they're like, how if you know the next neighborhood's like a mile away or something like that? There's no way a gun can travel that far, something like that. The fact that this came out that this lady hit it under her fat, I don't know what they're gonna do going forward. They're probably gonna put body scanners. I don't know, like they have at airports, but they're gonna have to now. It's like, because how the hell do you get away with that,
bro? And it's crazy too. Like, and it wasn't just her. I think didn't it say that? Didn't it say like it was her, like the person who had it, and also another lady that got struck with it or something like that? Wasn't it like two females that got hurt?
I think she shot herself and someone else. Yeah,
dude, and it's weird. It's by far like
the most White Sox story you could ever hear.
For 2023, and I'm talking about like. If you really want to hit rock bottom after the whole entire week that has happened to this White Sox organization, bro, it's it right here. It's this.
But that's out of their control. As far as the team goes, like the actual production on the field, that is out of their control. They have nothing to do with that. But the fact that it happened in this stadium under this team, if you're Jerry Reinsdorf
that week,
you're like, what the hell is going on?
Bro,
and then today, there's reports saying that Chris Getz is the guy that they're going to announce it within the next day or so, and it's kind of like, well, you're going to bring in a guy in an organization who, you know, this farm system I think was at one point was ranked 1 and went all the way down to 30,
something like
and
that,
like you know what I mean, and you have and the failures that you had between the old management team and this guy was underneath them, and so, yeah, I get it. He was probably being. He probably wasn't being listened to, but how much? Come on, but how much input did you have that could have changed this around? Because this was really bad all around. I don't know. Anyways, it's all around bad for the White Sox. This football game's funny, but it's hilarious.
It is so White Sox, bro. That's the only way. That's the only way I can think of. This is truly the epitome of insanity and the White Sox. Yeah, I was about to go on right there right now too as well. He said Cheddar Bob went to the White Sox game.
I think the real question is, Eric, is what Uncle Dede is asking. How much can you fit in your stomach for Eric? You and I are both some big guys, okay? I
can't big, bro.
Look, well, we're not that. No, I can't. I don't have a football. I can't do anything to like.
I know you don't have a football.
I know, right. But well, you get what I'm saying. My belly isn't even that big to be able to like hide. You know what I mean? I don't have look. Some dudes have a fold, Eric. Some dudes have a fold in their belly fat. I know you've seen it too. You know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say. But you and I aren't that. You know, we're not there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. No,
we're not there. We got bellies, but we ain't there. But given what you have now, how much do you think you could hide going into a stadium under our titties? Right? Tell us, John. Under our titties.
For real, we could tuck under y'all titties for real. I don't know, man. The vanilla wafers, you know how they come in little packets? I could do the vanilla wafers. That's one. I might do like a 2-pack of like the plastic bottle Cokes. You know, not the 2 liters, but that's something.
Good point.
The real question is like, can you stuff food? And that's the real question.
No. Well, hold on, because this was a gun that was stuffed under a football. What kind of weapon can you stuff in any fat part of your body if you needed to?
A fucking chancla.
You could stuff a chancla where?
I mean, it's under your belly fat, bro.
No, I thought you were doing something else over there. Like, whoa.
You talking about a weapon? I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to get stabbed. I mean, the first thing that comes with the knife, but nah, man. Food wise, it's
a pocket knife somewhere.
Yeah, pocket knife. Yeah.
Under my flat fold. I don't know.
It said this is going to be a new TikTok challenge for what did it say? John says, bro, they said that the metal detector went off 3 times. So like, what the fuck? Did someone just decided, oh, the detector is gone and broke? I think this is just maybe she had a belly button ring, and that's the only reason that was going off, bro. That's probably like my best
But
guess.
why do you bring a gun? Like what
She
what kind
probably
of life are
forgot,
you
bro.
living, bro?
No, she probably forgot. You know, again, the football.
What kind of life are you living that you have to carry a gun inside a baseball game? Like, what the fuck? Are you really about to like walk in and see the ops or something? Like, what is going on?
It is the South Side of Chicago. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, it sounds bad how I said it, but come on now, guys. Like it is what it is. It's at the South Side of Chicago. That's all I gotta say. I gotta throw out my beer, chug it before the detector, and y'all let Cheddar Bob bring her piece in.
That could have been bad, dude. Imagine if it would have hit a kid.
Ooh, man, that's something. And then I heard that went off during the game, but they canceled the concert, but continued the game going. Like the game continue on going to finish out, bro. Like it's just weird.
It's such a bad. It's crazy. It's such a crazy story.
Yeah, but hey, look, you can only go up from here, right? Like, isn't that the thing? Isn't that the saying? It's like, imagine being at work at the gate. Miss, you need to step into the sand and lift up your.
Well, like they have to have women, like women security that just
for sure
pats people down.
No, they do.
You know?
They have to.
They got to.
Yeah, so letting the game finish was the most Chicago thing ever. Johnson from the lies don't want no smoke.
Letting the game finish was the most. Yeah, it really is. Well, you know, because it's Chicago, we know all about guns over here. You know,
you're right, bro. You're absolutely right, man. It's the most Chicago thing that could actually happen. And
Chirac, like people say, you know.
Oh my god, I hate when
I know, me too.
I hate that saying.
I hate that too.
Yeah,
but that's what they say.
Someone should have yelled, "We got us 23-19."
23-19.
Oh man! Again, you can only go up from here, Sox fans, and eventually it won't be the Chicago White Sox anymore. It'll probably be the fucking Nashville Ammo or some shit.
After the Nashville. Got that girl as their spokesperson. You know? Bring in the Nashville, Jerry.
Yeah, take it to Nashville, Jerry. We don't need those shenanigans here and ruining our beautiful city of Chicago. Now that's just me talking smack. The JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Guys, make sure you follow us. The Nashville Shooters. Ooh, what did he say? Whiskey shots is the special promo.
Weren't they dressing up? Weren't they dressing up as a mobsters every time they hit a home run? I mean, it sells itself. You can change the entire name of the team.
Oh my god. Guys, make sure you follow us on all our social media platform on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram under the Star 6 Media production page, guys, as we're moving on to the NFL predictions. And we're about like a week away, right? Yeah. You can say like a week and a half away from the start of real football.
Hitman, exactly.
The real Southside Hitman. For real. And we're going to do this. We're going to give you guys our NFL predictions for the upcoming season. Where do we see, or who do we see winning the divisions? Where our money at for our division winners this upcoming season? Yep. In every division that we got going on so far. So we're going to go with that. Jose, let's start off with... let's go with the AFC. Let's go to the weakest division and work our way up, right? So let's start with the AFC South with the Titans, Colts, Jaguars, Texans. I think this division is probably a no-brainer where the winner division is going to be in the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
Real question is, do any of the other three teams have a chance to compete with the Jaguars this season?
Maybe Tennessee, and the only reason why I said the Tennessee Titans may have a chance to compete with the Jacksonville Jaguars is because of coaching. I mean, if you've seen the last 2 years, you always look at this team. It's like, other than Derrick Henry, who else do they have? I mean, they once had A.J. Brown, who wasn't the A.J. Brown that you see now in Philadelphia. You don't know who's going to be the quarterback, if Ryan Tannehill is going to be a good quarterback, if they're going to use their backup, I forget his name. Whatever the case is, you just don't know. But what you do know is this team is well coached. They won the division. Was it the last 2 years in a row? So it's like, they're always in it. And Derrick Henry's a dog, man. And if I'm not mistaken, they've had the best record in AFC one year. So it's like the Tennessee
Yeah, they did.
Titans are. I still feel that the Tennessee Titans, because of who their coach is and what they have been able to accomplish the last couple years. But I just think the tide has turned as far as star power in this division, and the Jacksonville Jaguars have the star power
That's a
led
tongue twister
by
for you.
led by Trevor Lawrence, and those guys.
Yeah, I'm not as optimistic as I am with the Tennessee Titans as you. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars run away from this division and probably be the only representative of the AFC South. No matter what DeAndre Hopkins brings on the wide receiver aspects, and Treylon Burks is a second round or a second year coming into the NFL, and you may have Derrick Henry back there, but I don't think the Tennessee Titans have enough to compete. Now they're going to be the toughest team in this division for the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? But I think talent wise overall with this team with the Tennessee Titans, I just don't see it. I really don't see it. They're exciting. They're interesting to watch, like I said, because they brought in DeAndre Hopkins as a wide receiving core.
All right, real quick, the quarterback I was talking about was Malik Willis, who's their backup, but they also drafted Will Levy, who's a rookie this year.
There you go. That's the one
who played well in college last season. So,
but again, it still doesn't strike fear into me, right? It still doesn't strike Trevor Lawrence with Calvin Ridley. It still doesn't strike Trevor Lawrence with Michael Etienne. It doesn't strike Trevor Lawrence with who do they got? Mark Ingram as their tight end, and also Christian Kirk as another wide receiver in that group.
Yeah.
So to me, it's definitely Jacksonville. Jacksonville by not by a landslide, but with a real comfortable lead, and I think they're going to be the only representative coming out of the AFC South. Another team, another division that again we're working our way from the bottom high up.
Well, hold on, real quick. So you have,
I have the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, Jacksonville Jaguars taking that division.
Yep,
okay.
And that's it.
AFC South, got it.
That's it. The AFC East and a division that's a little interesting, right? You have the Jets, who just acquired probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL today, in Aaron Rodgers, making some moves and bringing in along with some buddies, and they also get Dalvin Cook too as well as a free agent. You still have the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen and also Stephon Diggs in that wide receiving core, still coached well by Sean McDermott. You have a Miami Dolphins team. I only say question mark because of their quarterback and whether if it's health or talent-wise, however, or skill-wise, whatever you want to put into this conversation. With that lethal weapons that they have in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle back there and the running back by committee, and then we would have never, ever would have thought in about 100 of years, probably if that, or even say this in any of our shows, that the weakest team in this division is Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, and that's how far off they fell off from this division.
That's why I'm surprised you went to the AFC East, because this division I think could be probably the best division in football, just with these three teams alone. And you're right, the New England Patriots is still coached by Bill Belichick, Eric. You never know what you'll see from them. So, but yeah, this is a tough division for sure.
But it's also a New England Patriots team that, like, you look at them and it's like Mac Jones and then who else? You know what I mean? Yes, they got Juju Smith-Schuster on the free agent market. Yeah, they just got Ezekiel Elliott to help out their running back room a little bit, right? But after that, it's kind of like, but look who they have to face. They have to face these teams twice: the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, the Bills and Josh Allen, and the Miami Dolphins with Tua Tagovailoa and the weapons that they got. So it's kind of like, okay, the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick, yes, you're right. It's still Bill Belichick, but it just seems that Bill Belichick's 99-mile-per-hour fastball has now become 96.
Yeah, but remember, he had success. Yeah, I get it. Tom Brady was on the team, but he's had success with less, I guess.
100%.
So,
but also at the same time, he the last couple of years, the New England Patriots have been struggling to find some type of success and been struggling to find that success the moment Tom Brady left, and also haven't been really getting great quality talent coming to New England because of that, and that's what's been hindering the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Again, and this time it's pretty easy, or it's not pretty easy, but it's pretty tough to pick an outright winner in this division. So
I'm picking an outright winner. I'm picking an outright winner. I have one for you for this division.
Who's this one?
It's the Jets.
Ooh, okay, interesting.
Look, I have the Jets probably even going to the Super Bowl and winning it all this year. And look, you could just, I don't care. People can say what they want to say. But I don't
I
know
don't know,
what it
man. The
is.
colors are purple and red for the Super Bowl, man. It's scripted, remember?
Yeah, I don't see that being the case, man. I really do think the Jets have it all. You look at this team. This team was already known for how good their defense was.
Yep.
They had an All Pro rookie in Garrett Wilson who just lit up the league on fire last year.
Yep.
You added someone. You had a Dalvin Cook who I don't know what the Vikings were thinking, but I mean this is still a productive running back. And now
Salary dump.
you've added a multiple time quarterback, a Hall of
Yep.
Fame quarterback, and Aaron Rodgers, who I think still has it in him to be a great quarterback. So he has the weapons, he has the defense. Uh, Robert Saleh, I think the jury's still out on him, but these last couple of years have looked pretty well under his tutelage. So I think the Jets have all, man. Have it. I think the Bills take a step back. I think the Dolphins, you don't know what you're going to get from Tua, but I know what you're going to get out of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets, and I have them winning this division.
Interesting. No, you're absolutely right. I'm probably on the same page with you too as well, with the Jets taking over the division. Simply because it's the sexiest pick, right? It's the most interesting pick, right? But it's not like the Jets upgraded from Zach Wilson to I don't know, a mid-tier quarterback. No, they literally got what could potentially be one of the top 4, maybe 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now at the moment, and you're giving Aaron Rodgers some decent quality talent outside with definitely with, like you said, what's his name? Whatsoever, Garrett Wilson. Like, you're finally giving him a decent wide receiver who he hasn't had in a while since Devontae Adams.
Yep.
And then not only that, you get Dalvin Cook. Now, whether Bryce Hall, has something to say in the backfield, that's another thing. Who's another kid coming off an ACL injury too as well. But you're adding Dalvin Cook, a guy who has been there and done that. But the only reason why I'm going this is like the third best division in this conference is because this division as well shows it's going to be a lot more tougher, and it's always been tough year in, year out with the Bengals, with the Ravens, with the Browns, and the Steelers. Again, another team that shows lack of, the Steelers team is probably like the Patriots, right? The Steelers team is like, there's a lot of question mark. There's a lot of good thing here that we keep hearing about Kenny Pickett coming out of the camp as well. And obviously we've known that Mike Tomlin does not have a losing record in his sight, but you have in a division where you have Joe Burrow and the Bengals, where you have Lamar Jackson, hopefully a healthy Lamar Jackson in the Baltimore Ravens. And the wild card in this one is Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns and what they may or may not do this year, which, I mean, if it's Deshaun Watson, where we saw take the Texans to multiple playoff appearances, this division could be tough, man. This division can be really, really tough.
The AFC, man, the AFC in general.
It's just a very tough conference, and this is why I give kudos to Aaron Rodgers to finally go to the AFC and actually compete with the Young Bucks. Because remember, like we already mentioned 2 quarterbacks in this conference. Well, we already mentioned 3 in this one with Deshaun Watson, Deshaun, Lamar, and also Joe Burrow. But let's be honest, Jose. Who do you have coming out of this conference? Like, who do you have winning this conference in the very tough conference in the AFC North?
Believe it or not, this conference was the hardest one to pick for me. Like for the East, it was like the Jets. I have a winner for the West, easy. But this conference, because I was like, okay, I would go with the Bengals because of the team that's still intact there. But then I'm looking at the Ravens, and if Lamar Jackson can stay healthy, I think they win the division. Yep. And then you look at the Browns, and you're like, well, fuck, because then you have Deshaun Watson over there with all these weapons, and Nick Chubb still doing his thing, and it's like, and his defense is good, and I'm like, oh my god. And of course, the Steelers are the Steelers. When you're coached by Mike Tomlin, you always have a shot. But I want to go back to the Ravens. Now, I just think this may be their time. Their time to finally make a run, to finally make a push. I could definitely see them in the playoffs being an odds-on favorite. I want to say if Lamar Jackson can stay healthy, that's my pick. I think the Ravens definitely have what it takes to finally win this division, finally get into the playoffs, and potentially make a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think this is the one division, according to bettors on some bookies, where the division is closer, right? It's between the Bengals and the Ravens, but the Browns are not that far off, and the Steelers, they're a little further down, but you still get some decent value from them. Obviously, we feel that the Steelers will still probably have above 500 record, but probably miss out on the playoffs. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the safe pick for now with Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow, and that team. I think with having him, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon in the backfield. I mean, it's the same group. You only get better each year in and year out. You give me the Bengals in this division, I think you'll have a good one this one. And obviously, we're going to go to the AFC West. Again, this is another division where, again, 3 out of the 4 teams, it's a little tough, man. Kansas City Chiefs, we know, defending Super Bowl champions. Enough said. Denver Broncos, they upgraded on coach. They got a future Hall of Famer in Sean Payton as their new head coach. And then you got the Chargers that really need to do something this year and really take the next step forward and make it into the playoffs and taking the next step forward into the playoffs with their young quarterback in Justin Herbert. And then we don't know what the Las Vegas Raiders are going to be, man. The Raiders are probably the only easy pick out here that we're probably not going to pick to win this division. But do you see the Kansas City Chiefs repeating as the AFC West champions, or do you kind of see like a little Super Bowl hangover and the other two can take charge?
The AFC West and the AFC North are very similar. When you have 3 top-heavy teams that could win the division, and you have that one team who's just slightly below them, maybe a little bit more than slightly, they're literally just a quarterback away. I feel like I think the Steelers and Raiders are just a legit quarterback away from being a contender. But yeah, this one was also tough. And as much as I'm waiting for the Chiefs fall off. I think I feel like there has to be one year where they're just they fall off. They're not going to make it. They'll make it into the playoffs, but they won't win. And I really think the Chargers. I know I'm a Chargers fan. You can say what you want, but I really do think that this is the year to finally surpass the Kansas City Chiefs and put their place in legitimacy. I think the Chargers win this division. I'm hoping they win this division. I'm picking them to win this division. At the same time, I won't be surprised if the Broncos make a surprise, win and win this division. But I go in Chargers, man. LA.
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised at your pick, to be honest, simply because you say you're more of a Chargers fan than a Bears fan.
No, I never said that.
But I'm with you too as well about the fall off of the Kansas City Chiefs. I kind of feel something about this Kansas City Chiefs team that it's not going to be the same, and I won't be surprised if we have a fall off from the Kansas City Chiefs this year.
I thought it was going to be last year. I'm not going to lie.
I didn't. I had a good chance about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Last year was the year, and they won the fucking Super Bowl.
Yeah. But this year I have a funny feeling about the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, they got the best quarterback in the world, and in Patrick Mahomes, and the best quarterback in the league in Patrick Mahomes, and he's going to be the best quarterback in the NFL for the next 3, 4, 5 years, no matter what the other quarterbacks do. Let's just put that out there. Patrick Mahomes already solidified himself as the best quarterback in this league. It doesn't matter if he doesn't make it the playoffs this year. It doesn't matter if he doesn't make the Super Bowl this year. It doesn't really matter what he does. Patrick Mahomes is number one. With that being said, I think I'm gonna do a little. I'm gonna be like you two as well, but I'm gonna join the Broncos bandwagon. I think Broncos country, let's ride. With Sean Payton being at the helm, I really do think that the Broncos may have something to prove, especially Russell Wilson with the year that he had last year. You give him an opportunity with a future Hall of Famer head coach in Sean Payton. And given his no nonsense and how he plays this game, with the weapons that he have that are still young, Sutton and also and Jerry Jeudy, who's going to come back, decent offensive line. I think Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos have something to prove, and the defense is still not that. It's still mid level, and that's what you need. You need a team that's mid level on defense. So you give me Broncos country, let's ride to win the AFC West. I think the Chiefs take a minor step back, which is not that bad. Every team goes through it. I think it's also try to be a little bit different, right? Picking another team is outside of the Kansas City Chiefs too as well. So I'm gonna go with the Denver Broncos with this one.
Wow.
You guys are listening. Go ahead.
No, I said, wow, Broncos. I'm surprised.
Yeah. It's something different. Something different. There's nothing wrong with the fresh pair of eyes or a new storyline over here, like if it's a WWE. You guys are listening to this, watching the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch under the John Conavi Facebook page and also the Star 6 Media Productions. Whereas we're going through our division and are picking our predictions for the division winners for this upcoming NFL season. We just did the AFC. Jose and I agree with the Jaguars. I think Jose and I also agree on the Jets. Jose and I differ in the AFC North. He went Ravens. I went Bengals on the safe spot. And again, we also went different. I went Broncos. He went Chargers. Surprise, surprise there from him to come out of the AFC West. We both believe that the Chiefs will have a little setback this year, which is not a bad idea, or it's not a bad thing. Trust me, especially what the Chiefs have been going through the last couple years. All right, we're going to the NFC. Obviously, again, let's start from the lower and working our way up, but I think we're just going to mix it up just a little bit for the NFC simply because of where we're from and where we're at. By far, this is going to be the weakest division and maybe all of football. But definitely in the NFC, the Saints, the Bucks, the Panthers, and the Falcons. Is this a clear path for the Saints to make it to the playoffs, and the only way to make it to the playoffs and probably be the only team coming to the
No.
NFC South, or do you have somebody else?
No, I have the Falcons winning this division, believe it or not. The reason being is because I feel like that team was so competitive in every single game last season.
Nice.
And they only gotten better this offseason with draft picks, with free agency. I think you'll see an emergence from Kyle Pitts, who he's going to be the tight end everybody thought he was supposed to be last season.
Coming out of college,
I think Desmond Ridder's going to have this offense playing a lot better than Marcus Mariota had this offense playing last year. You just added a young stud, probably one of a guy who could potentially be the best running back this year, and Bijan Robinson. We know he's going to do some, and you still have Cordell Patterson. You still have these young weapons and the wide receiver Drake London and those guys. So I think, like I said, this team was very competitive all last season in every single game that they were in. I think this team is only going to take a step further. The one team, obviously, the Saints on paper look like the better team, and they very much can win the division. I won't be surprised. But I just think the Falcons have gotten better in my book, and I think they'll be the team that surprises a lot of people this season. And if the Panthers can also be a bit surprising, but we'll see, man. We'll see.
I think the Panthers are going to struggle this year too as well. They're going to struggle protecting Bryce Young, and the dude looks very tiny behind that offensive line, and an offensive line that really can't protect at the moment. I think dude got lit up this whole entire preseason.
Oh, yeah.
And it worries me, but it also makes me happy too because the Bears got their number one draft pick or their first round draft pick this year. So, hey, it's a win-win in my books on that one. I'm gonna pick the safest pick on this one as well. I think the New Orleans Saints, like you said, the best team on paper. I believe the Saints have enough talent there for them to make it into the playoffs. Again, another team that probably is going to be the only representative in the NFC South. In the New Orleans Saints, I think Derek Carr is a pretty good quarterback to take them to where they need to get, with Michael Thomas hopefully being healthy, Alvin Kamara still in the backfield, and then Chris Olave as one of your young studs wide receivers. It's a recipe where they could perform and be better, and their defense will always be stout and hard to play against in that front too as well. So I think the Saints are my pick for the NFC South. They're going to be my team choice for this upcoming season. We're gonna go, to me, again, another division where this is gonna be a little bit tougher, but not really, simply because of the outcome of the other two teams. But the NFC West and the 49ers, the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Rams. The big storyline that came last week is that the 49ers trade Trey Lance to the Dallas Cowboys, and all they got was a 6th round pick. I don't know if that says a lot about their valuation of Trey Lance, and they probably decided they picked the wrong quarterback the year that Justin Fields came out in Trey Lance. I don't know what it is, but they got a better quarterback, or what they think is a better quarterback, in Brock Purdy. This upcoming season is going to be the number one quarterback, QB1, in Brock Purdy, along with Sam Darnold's QB2. But the Seattle Seahawks were the very interesting story last year, making the playoffs out of the wild card, having that one game at home, and advancing in that first round out of the playoffs with the Seattle Seahawks. So we know the Cardinals. The Cardinals may be the worst team in the NFL this upcoming season, and the wild card is the Los Angeles Rams, who just came off 2 years removed off a Super Bowl. So, Jose, is it the 49ers and then everybody else, or do you have a surprise pick for the NFC West?
Yeah, no, it's the 49ers and everybody else. I think the Seahawks could maybe make the wild card this season. I don't see the Cardinals being any good. The Rams can surprise. I think if you're asking for a surprise team, I think the Rams can surprise people, but that all depends on Matthew Stafford. But other than that, I think the 49ers
is a question mark.
I think the 49ers, this is their division to lose, and I have them winning, man.
Yeah, you're talking about a team that's overall, overall best, on defense overall, linebackers, front, the front seven, and obviously some very stout, great cornerbacks in the secondary. Debo Samuel, you have him as the number one wide receiver down there in the backfield with Christian McCaffrey and a decent offensive line too as well. So again, you're right. Another safe pick. We're going to go with the 49ers, you and I, on this one too as well. No surprise that the Seahawks are the Seahawks. They're going to be in the middle of the pack. They're going to be a middle of the road team. We're just enough to play into or make it into the playoffs. And I think that's about it. The Rams, the health on Matthew Stafford is everything for this team. And they've also missed a lot on defense. So it's kind of like they may have Aaron Donald up the front, but can they stop the passing game, which was the big problem for the Rams last season? So we're going to go with that one. You're right. You and I think it's a clean sweep with that one as the 49ers are pick for the NFC West. The NFC Beast, NFC East, with the Eagles, who were the representative of the NFC last year in the Super Bowl, Giants, Cowboys, and the Commanders. In a division where we know the talent and the superiority of the Philadelphia Eagles are there, right? But everybody else in that division is kind of on the same playing level field, except for the Commanders. But the Commanders could be a sneaky team to compete in that aspect too as well. So
you know they're well coached. I mean, Ron Rivera,
right? Ron Rivera.
He always has that team competing,
and he has all of his teams are ready to come out to play.
Man, everybody in that team is ready to live and die for him.
So is it still again the same thing, the Philadelphia Eagles and then everybody else, or do you kind of see a surprise again that everybody's sexy pick in the Cowboys and America's team?
I know, bro. It's so hard because I feel like again, like on paper, you look at the Cowboys and you're like, how are they not like one of the top echelon teams in the NFL, right? Because every year they
Cowboys,
have,
bro.
I get it, but every year they have.
On John.
Like I said, on paper, you look at the guys that they rolled out there, you're like, holy crap, this team should be way better than what they seem. But I definitely have the Eagles winning this division. But it's not going to be a cakewalk like everybody thinks it's going to be. The Giants, I feel like, gotten better. They have more of an identity. I mean, they were a really good team last season. The Cowboys are always going to be there. You already know how tough they are in the regular season. It just comes playoff time is when they start to choke. And the Commanders are always going to be a tough out. It doesn't matter who you are. You have to play all four quarters against them. But I think the Eagles, because of just solely alone on the talent that they have, they win this division.
And I also do feel like the let me just take out my alarm real quick. The news as well with the owner, no longer being there. That's a new motivation of putting fire under their belly and perform for their new owner. Yep. And like I said, extra motivation to go on and become better throughout this whole entire season, right? Again, safe pick, right? Safe pick in the Philadelphia Eagles, but damn, I'm dying. But again, I'm tired of waiting for the Dallas Cowboys, bro. Like, I'm legit tired for this team. Like, you're right. You say it every year. The talent is there. The talent is there, but the talent is always there, and they don't do anything with it.
No. I picked them last year. I even said last year that they're talented enough to make the Super Bowl, and they just like every year they disappoint. So it's like no.
Again. So
I'm not falling into that trap.
I got tired of that aspect of picking the Cowboys or the Cowboys are going to be. Now look, there's three playoff spots open, right? And one of these three teams in this division is probably going to take them, right? 2 out of the 3 maybe, or it could be the same team as last year with the Eagles and the Giants and the Cowboys making the playoffs, right? And they'll be the whole entire NFC East will be in. But I'm tired of year in and year out of this same old story that the Cowboys are this, the Cowboys are that. Yes, they have a great team talent-wise on offense and on defense, but they never find a way to put it together, and I still don't think they have found a way to put it together. Yes, they can let go of Ezekiel Elliott, and now Tony Pollard's your RB1. But something about Dak, man, it just doesn't captivate me enough to say that the Dallas Cowboys are willing to do something out of it.
Yeah, Eagles win this easily.
The Eagles, to me, by far looks like the better team, and will take this NFC East for sure. But I mean, everything else, man, it's just wide open. It's wide open. It is super wide open, and it's closer than you think too as well. I agree with you. It is a lot closer in that division. It's going to be tough for the other 3 teams that are not named the Philadelphia Eagles.
I would say the best for last.
And now we say the best for last. Again, it's not the toughest division, but also let's put it in perspective that this division,
our division, Eric.
It is wide open. It is super wide open. And yes, everybody's darling pick is the Detroit Lions to come out of the NFC North right now that Aaron Rodgers is no longer running the NFC North. Which leaves but that didn't really mean anything simply because the Minnesota Vikings were the division winners last year. But the Minnesota Vikings lost a lot of talent on the defensive front and also a decent amount of talent in the offensive front. Yes, they still have Justin Jefferson, which can make up for most of it too as well. And also TJ Hawkinson, which is one of the top tight ends in the NFL. And Kirk Cousins can be that guy that could take you to a certain point. But he's not the best quarterback in this division. We don't know by default. Jordan Love is the worst quarterback in this division. We're not saying nothing bad or negative about it. Us being Bears fans, we're just saying because we don't know the guy. We don't know what he has, what he can offer, and what he brings to the table. So by far, he is the worst quarterback by default. Then comes Kirk Cousins. Then comes Justin Fields. Then comes Jared Goff in that particular order as number 1 through 4 for the NFC North. But again, it still is wide open. So what do you have winning the NFC North, Jose?
Well, but see, you say that purely on stats, and you say that purely on stats alone.
No, because if it's purely on stacks, it would be Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff, Justin Fields, Jordan Love.
Right. That's where I was going to go. I'm like, you should probably put Jared. I don't know. Whatever you're saying, whatever your reasoning is for Jared Goff being the number 1 quarterback, Kirk Cousins should be right there with him. He should be over Justin Fields. But, regardless, Eric, this division scares me. We are Bears fans, and we are traumatized by Packers because the Packers have ran this division our entire lives.
100%.
Right? And we've seen this story play out when Brett Favre left. You have Aaron Rodgers, who just took over and dominated us our entire lives.
100%.
And now we're scared that Jordan Love might be the same guy. We just don't know. It's more trauma than anything. We could joke and we can have, but I don't care what anybody says. Every Bears fan is slowly in the back of their mind, like, you know what? Fuck. Let's just like we're literally waiting for week 1 for us to just validate the fact that we know he sucks. But until then, we're like, that what if is just creeping in the back of your mind, right? And
It's
even then,
it'll always be like that.
And even then, it's only 1 week. I mean, he can have one bad game and then go out and just tear the NFC North apart,
Mm-hmm.
But regardless of the fact, the Packers are still the Packers, and I'm just scared a little bit. As far as the Lions go, but then you look at the Lions, like, well, the Lions are always the Lions. They're never gonna, like the Cowboys, they're just gonna choke. They're never gonna win. Blah blah blah. But this team, you've seen it, have gotten better and gotten better and gotten better. And the Vikings are that one team where you don't know if they're gonna win the division one year or be the worst team. And they're very back and forth.
100%.
The only consistent thing there is the Bears, because the Bears, we know, they were the worst team in the NFL all last season.
Right.
So they're going to get they are better. Just how much better? Are they winning the division this season better? I don't think so. I don't have the Bears winning the division. I want to choose the Bears winning the division, but I don't have the Bears winning the division. I'm gonna hold that thought until week 6 or 7 to see where they are. Because again, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm not a Lions fan. I'm a Bears fan, right?
100%.
But
Chargers. But
what are the difference between the Bears, the Lions, and the Cowboys? Really, nothing. There really is no difference. Each of those teams disappoint you every single year in the long run. The Bears have done nothing but disappoint me my entire life.
Yeah.
My entire life, they have disappointed me. So why do I think it's better? Now, I'm not going to go in thinking that they're just going to automatically be better because of what they've added on paper. Yes, I'm excited and I have hopes that they're going to be better. But until my eyes see it, you are not going to trick me 100th time or 101 time. I'm 32 years old. You're not going to trick me for a 32nd time. You're not. Right? I'm going to wait and see. I have the Lions winning because solely on talent alone, because of what I've seen them do the last couple seasons. I have the Lions winning the division. Now, if you look at my FanDuel, I picked the Vikings to win the division. but that's just because that's just a smart investment in my book. But I'm picking the Lions on this show. in hopes that the Vikings win.
Oh my god, bro, that is the biggest cop out I've ever seen in my life, bro. Come on, how is your money gonna be one way and then on the show is another, bro?
I'm just saying, look,
That's a so Jose move right there, man. Oh my god. Yeah, it's same for me, dude. It's hard to pick a winner from this division, right? And we have to because there has to be a winner, right? And I'm with you on that aspect. I'm not scared or I'm not terrified of the Green Bay Packers, but they are in the back of my mind, right? And obviously, I don't
trauma,
want
yeah.
right. I don't want 3 times in a row to happen, right? From Favre to Rodgers to now Jordan Love, right? I don't want to see the same song and dance anymore. I want to see them struggle for a little bit. Um, all that being said, what I saw from the Bears in the preseason kind of worries me a little bit. I don't know how well they're going to be for week 1, but I hope they just get their stuff together and have a decent season. Obviously, my expectations are really low. My expectations be better than last year. So you get 4 wins, you over exceed my expectations on that part right there. I have high hopes for the Chicago Bears. I don't have as much high hopes as you do on the Minnesota Vikings, putting your money on it. I think the Minnesota Vikings are going to take a really fall hard from grace on that team because of what they've lost on the defensive side of the ball. And I don't think that this team could repeat what they did last year and winning what is it? Winning 11 in a row or winning 11 games by 3 points or less or something like that. Whatever ridiculous stat they have last season, that's not going to repeat again itself, right? I don't trust Kirk Cousins as my quarterback. I mean, he has one of those heaters to bring his team to the promised land, and that's about it. And that's the playoffs. The Lions are a little bit more complete-ish, I guess you can say, because of the defensive front that they have, and that defense just got better over the offseason and what they brought along on the draft too as well. And a team that was hitting on all cylinders towards the tail end of the season and barely missed the playoffs by a game. So by default, I am choosing the Detroit Lions. But I won't be surprised if there's another winner, whether it may be the Vikings, the Bears, or the Packers. I think I'm just going the safe route on here. My money is going to be on the Bears. I'm gonna do a Jose too. My money's gonna be on the Bears. I still haven't made the bets yet, and I may change my mind maybe last minute. I might chicken out and pick the Lions, but there's no clear winner in this one. There's no front runner. There's no nothing. Everybody is about as even because of the uncertainty.
Yeah.
Of each team that brings in.
Yeah.
Like you said, the Lions are more complete-ish, but dude, it's the Detroit Lions. Just like how the Bears have been messing with us our whole entire life, the Detroit Lions have been sucking our whole entire lives, making the playoffs just once or twice under Matthew Stafford. The Minnesota Vikings, they'll hit lightning in the bottle every once in a while, and they did last year, and I think that's about it. Green Bay Packers without Aaron Rodgers, we don't know what they're going to be.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And I know we're going to be talking about this division, this conference for the next 17, 18 weeks. And we're going to see where the Bears are going to fall at this point. The Detroit Lions are my pick for the NFC North for right now. And I'm just leaving it at that. I don't even know if I'm even confident in that pick.
Yeah, I agree. My heart says the Bears. My head says the Lions. My wallet says the Vikings. So and that's where it's at.
And your ass says the Packers so you can wipe them each and every week. We just want one bad year from the Packers. And
my fear says the Packers. Yeah.
And that's all we want. We just want one bad year from the Packers.
How about that?
And it's just weird, man. So, yeah, what do you think? I should shave my beard, right? I should go with that? No? All right,
no,
cool. We've distinguished that one already.
Don't do that to Laura.
The JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch under the John Coravi Facebook page and also the Star 6 Media Productions. This has been another great episode of the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Guys, Big League Chicago will be coming back after week 1 as we're going to go over all our Bears games and all things Chicago sports. Once Big League Chicago comes back, you're still going to have the JCA Sports Podcast also throughout the week too as well to go a little bit preview into the next upcoming game for the Chicago Bears and also everything else Chicago sports and national sports too as well. Jose, before we end the show, What do you think about? Did you end up reading about the dude that I told you, Noah Lyons, about what he said about being a world champs?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, so I'm just gonna give you the cliff notes of it, and then you go from there. Now I'm paraphrasing. He said that he doesn't understand why NBA champions or the NBA has world champions
Right.
next to their
Yeah.
title.
I did hear that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you did hear that, right?
Yeah. I just didn't know who said it, but I've heard some. I have heard that. Why are they called world champions when they don't play no one in the world? It's more of a
A
just a
national thing.
Yeah.
So do you agree with him or no?
I mean, I guess I don't know. I just think world champions are. You hear that a lot in a lot of sports. That I mean, what other sports say that? I mean, that's the
The World Series for
World
baseball.
Series for
The
baseball,
NFL does it for world.
right? And I get it. I mean, I think if there's two leagues that can say it is baseball and basketball because you have players from around the world, especially in baseball. When you have guys from South America, you see
Caribbean.
Shohei Ohtani's from Asia. You see all these different races in one sport. Same in basketball. You have guys like Nikola Jokic. You have guys like Luka Doncic, Giannis. I mean, you literally have guys from all over the world. So and those are the best of the best from all over the world. It's not like we're just getting scrubs from each country. No, like these are the best of the best players from all over the world in your sport. So yes, I think you definitely can say world champions because you're playing against people in different nationalities, constructed up in a team that's you know what I mean, combined from with just a whole bunch of different type of players. I think in those two sports you can definitely do it. You hardly see anybody from any other country other than the United States playing football. So maybe not in NFL. I think it's more of a case where you can't really say world.
Can't
Obviously,
believe you forgot about hockey.
hockey and soccer are all. But the thing is, hockey and soccer are the two teams where you definitely can say it. That's why I thought that was a no brainer because you got guys from all over the world in both hockey and soccer. What do you mean no?
Nope. I disagree with you
In,
respectfully. I
in,
disagree with you
in
strongly.
hockey
Disrespectfully.
in hockey and soccer, but in hockey and soccer, Eric, you have two teams. I mean, you have
Yep.
two leagues where
Mhm,
the United
mhm,
States are
mhm, mhm,
are
mhm,
like the others
mhm,
basically.
mhm, mhm, mhm. You're absolutely right, Jose. But in the MLS, they don't say world champions.
Yeah,
They
but I'm
just
not talking
say
about
MLS
MLS.
champions.
But I'm not talking about MLS. So let's be honest.
I could get out. You want to go a step further in Europe for the Champions League? They don't say the champions of the world. They say the champions of Europe because they play in the competition in the
But they have
Champions
a
League.
case too. But the point is they
But,
have a
but
case
they
too.
don't. But they don't do it. They have for the European competition. They have the champions for Europe.
I get
In
that.
soccer, the only representation that soccer
It's the
has that
World Cup.
has world in it is the World Cup,
I
and
understand that.
that's the only way.
I
And
understand
that's
that.
the national that's the
Yes,
international prospect.
yes, and
We're talking about
I
national wise,
understand it.
where the
But you
United
have.
States. You're right.
But it's the same. But it's the same argument for basketball. You have players from all over the
Yes, yes,
world who are
yes.
great.
You're absolutely right. They got players from all over the world, just like how they have the soccer teams all over the world too in Europe as well. But they don't put the world next to it. They just say champions of
I get
Europe
it.
because
I
it's a
get it.
European
Yeah,
competition. Just like how the NBA is a competition in the United States of America, just like the NFL, just like the MLB, just like the NHL, it's in the United States of America. Now, granted, they have teams based out in Canada. Okay, I get that in the and all four of leagues, right? And that's probably the only concept of argument right there, but it's still not considered the world. It's still considered North America. So no, I don't agree with that aspect. I think it's just to be national. It's not a world championship. It's just a championship in your domestic league, in your domestic side in the United States of America. And that's that. Unless if you play against teams in Spain like your Real Madrid or the other teams in other European countries, then I'll give that 100%. Then you have the rights to have the title say world champions. But if it's still basic, no matter who do you have from different nationalities on your NBA team, I think it should just basically stay NBA champions of the National Basketball Association, National Football League, and all the other acronyms that have for the teams, man. So I mean, I agree with him. I
they're
agree with him.
changing.
He's competing in the Olympics.
I
That's a
don't
world
know.
game. I think he's absolutely right.
It's just a word though. It's just a word. Like I think people are feeding too much into it. Like yeah, like
Well,
that,
and
that's
the only
you
reason why
always
people
talk
get
about
into it
world
because the NBA
champion.
players got on his case. Like Kevin Durant said, somebody go help this guy. Like that's the only reason why. And I think the NBA players got so much butthurt because
I agree.
he
I
singled
agree.
out the NBA. That's the only
Yes,
reason
I
why.
get it. But I agree with Kevin. I agree that the NBA should call themselves world champions because again, you're facing the best in the world. I mean, Victor Wembanyama, who's French, but why is he not? Why is he not? Why is he not playing for France over there or in that league?
Right, because he's
Because he
coming to
knows
the best league in
in the
right here in the
world,
United States.
right in the world, the best league where Eric in the world.
But in
That's
the United
the,
States.
the
But it's in the
NBA.
United States. It's not the world. I get
And
it. Yes,
wait.
you're gonna have different
Let me
players from
say.
different
Wait, let me
nationalities,
just say
but
this.
how often? Like
But
we
let me just
literally
say
just
this.
had
But
Nikola
let me just say
Jokic
this.
who won the NBA title this year,
I
who's
get
from a
that.
different country.
Right, but let me just say this: the NBA is the best league in the world. Not just the best league in the NBA in the United States. Eric,
Right.
it's the best league in the world.
And the Champions League is the best competition in the world, but they don't say world; they say the European
Yeah, because
competition.
it's soccer. They have their own rules. I get it. I understand.
Like if you want to base it
NBA
on the world, face against the other teams across the world, and have it like a world tournament. That's all. I don't think he was wrong by saying that. I think he was absolutely spot on, 100%. That the whole entire NBA doesn't really have to have the world champions next to it. They could just literally say NBA champions and be okay with it. It's a national league across the United States. That's all. But my favorite line is, "I like the United States at times." I think that's the best line that he had throughout the whole conversation that he had
yeah,
this week, or when he made his
I,
interview, his press
I get it.
conference. So
I get it. But the NBA can say it. Baseball can say it. The MLB can say it. Hell, hockey can say it because because those are the best.
but they
Those
don't.
are the best leagues in the world, and there's plenty of leagues in other countries in those three sports. But those are the best in the world. You can't say that in soccer in the United States because that's not the best league in the world. You said it. Champions League is. I get that. But if they wanted to, they get no gripe from me. If they want to say it, if they want to do it and say it, they will. They won't get no gripe from me. So
Nah, soccer has more class than anything. That's all I got to say.
yeah.
The JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, guys. Thank you very much for hopping on. Uncle Day Day, my girl Lauda, my beautiful girlfriend Lauda. Who else? Jonathan also hopped on the comment section. Josh and everybody else. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Make sure you guys follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, under the Star 6 Media brand. Jose, any last words?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Illuminati. You know, trying to recruit me. I'm just playing. I said no.
Is that still a thing or no more?
I don't know. Maybe.
We'll see. Will you join?
That'll be our next question. If the Illuminati comes at you, will you sell your soul? The answer is no.
I think you would. You would.
No, I'd rather die. You kill me.
I mean, it's gonna be part of it anyway, so you might as well just be rich and die trying, right?
No.
We'll see. Thank you, everybody, for joining our show. Thank you, Jose, for hopping on. Jonathan, Jose, Lauda, everybody else that were on the comments. Josh, thank you very much. And we will see you guys next week. Preview week 1 of the NFL season that was right upon us. And we'll give you guys our best bets for the NFL weekend and also college football too as well if we have any. Other than that, for myself, Eric Avila, Jose Contreras, we are out. Jose, you got this? You got the outro or what? Jose, hit that outro.
I don't got the outro.
See, rusty. We'll see you guys next week. See ya.